Oh dear. Let's see. Hi guys, thanks for finding me again. So it turns out that just playing my own Make With Meg music, which I made myself, I'm not allowed to do. I just get kicked off, I think, because there's so many, like, less people and more in work for YouTube. They're using more robots, so any music that they detect is just cutting me off air. So I can't even play my Make With Meg theme tune. And I've deleted that. All of that has just gone now, so we've just come back to here. So what a shame. I think people are refinding me now, which is fabulous. And I'll start talking through the activity and move back over to the station in a second. Hi guys, thank you. Whew, this is horrible. I'm just not a tech person, and it's scary when you get cut off like that. So we're going to be making ID cards today. So I'm just going to repeat the intro really quickly. Oh, fantastic. You are back. Fantastic. Awesome. Thanks to the Harrisons. And hopefully the council clerks will be back in soon as well. And the Sarkers as well would be fab. So hopefully everyone's going to refine this. What a shame. You're back. Oh, with your worry monster. Fantastic. So this here is my worry monster. No worries. Ready to go to make to help make some cards today. I'm going to put no worries on the back here. Have a little seat. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making some ID cards. Thanks for bearing with me. And these are ID cards that I love to make in all sorts of different workshops. But obviously they've got loads of trimmings and they're on neon card and they're really exciting. And we can't get to the shops anymore and we can't get all of the amazing craft materials we'd like to get. So I thought I'd do a live Make With Meg casual craft along hour where I'll make one finding things from my house and bringing them into the studio, which I've done ready. So it kind of replicates the things that you could find around your house, and we can make one together over the next 45 minutes. So if you haven't already, you just need some card or some paper. You need some pens. And you need to think of a name that makes you feel powerful. So you invent your own super name or nickname, or you could just use your real name because everyone's got great names, I'm sure. And then you just need to think of 3 things that you are really good or you are great at that remind you that you're really powerful and you're really cool. So that's all you absolutely need. And there are some other things that would be great if you could find. And I'm going to take you now back over to the task station where we were before, and we'll continue with the live feed over there, and hopefully we'll carry on working. So let's go. So I'm moving you over here. Got Make With Meg on there. Super duper. I've got the spotlight on. Got no worries here, just chilling out next to the sign. So the other things that would be great for you guys to find from around the house are a pair of scissors, are maybe some ribbon or some like string or some coloured any kind of coloured pom-poms or anything you may have in like a sewing kit, or anything around the house, some little trimming long bits. If you've got a stapler, awesome, but you don't need to have a stapler. You might just have some sellotape, oh, my internet's going weird. Oh, I'm back again, I think. Fantastic. I feel like the whole world's trying to use the internet at the moment, which is also part of the problem. It's just a new world that we've got to learn how to live in this digital way. Who knows how it's going to work? The first thing you do is you need to get your bit of card or your bit of paper. So I'll show you the options that I've got, and I'll just clear my decks here. So for your card, you could use a cereal box. I've got a porridge oat box like this, which I think I'm going to use. You may have some fancy coloured cards, so you could totally use that as well if you wanted to use that. Or you may have something like index card or just a scrap of card, or you may even have a fancy bit of A4 white card. So whichever card you're going to use, that's going to be the base of your ID card. So I'm going to get my cereal box ready, and I want you guys to get your card ready now as well. So number one is choosing your card. Start of the first live feed, but this is a public space. So just to remember that that you're just it's a public space. So just as you would be out in public at all times, and refer to your parents if you're doing this with them. So I've got a nice bit of card here like this. And now what I'm going to do with my card is I'm going to cut it so it fits somewhere. And now this is up to you to decide how large you would like your ID card to be. So you could draw around a book, for example, and have a larger card. This kind of card would not fit inside your wallet, but it would fit inside your book bag or your school bag or your rucksack. Or you could go for an ID card size, and you could ask your parents if you could borrow one of their store cards, and you can draw around either of those things. So I'm going to do a tiny little ID card that would fit in my wallet. So I'm going to just put that on my cereal box card like this. I'm going to use one of my pens and my pencils. I'm going to draw around it. And then I'm going to cut it out. So we have got Liverpool back. Hi, Shri. Hi, Leela. Hi, Josie. So nice that you guys are back with us. I'm sorry that we keep losing people and having to start new connections. I've been on the telephone to the old YouTube, and they've just got robots detecting me playing music. So even though it's not anyone else's music, it's my music, it's original music, they just didn't like the Make With Meg theme tune. They kicked me off, which is a crying shame because I worked really hard on making that Make With Meg YouTube with my friend Wojtek. So it's a crying shame that they kicked me off for it. So all we're doing for anyone who's just joining us now is we're making ID cards. And the first thing you need is to choose your card from any card you've got lying around the house. So that could be cereal box card. It could be perhaps like an index card. It could be some coloured card, any kind of card you like. And you decide how big you'd like your ID card to be. If you want it to fit in a wallet, then if you draw around a store card, you're going to cut that out. Or if you'd like it just to fit in a book bag or a rucksack, then you just grab a book of any size that fits on your card, draw around that, and you're going to cut it out. I absolutely love this book. It's very good for this time. It's called Grapefruit by Yoko Ono. It's a great one, just having a good time with, practicing some little things. So now I'm going to cut out my cards. Oh, guys, do you think that our No Worries could be friends? I totally think that they could be friends as well. They totally could be. So anyone who doesn't know who No Worries is, he's this worry monster here. And I'm an artist, and I have projects all up and down the country normally, and I'm often driving alone in my car. And No Worries just normally sits in my front seat, and he just travels around with me, just because I like to say to people I'm traveling around with no worries. But it's been quite stressful recently. And so I feel like I've been spending a lot more time with No Worries just in my everyday life. It's become a little mascot for me. And I know Ion's got one as well, haven't you? Lovely. So yours is rainbow coloured. Amazing. So now you've got your ID card like this. This is the base of your ID card. Now, if you wanted to, because mine's a cereal box packet, I might not want to have that porridge on the back. So I think what I'm going to do with mine, if yours is just a coloured bit of card or a plain bit of card, you won't need to do this. But I'm going to make mine double so that on both sides it's just a blank bit of card, and I've got rid of the actual porridge design. So I'm going to draw around it a second time and cut out another piece. Just like this. Fab. How is the connection for everyone? Hopefully it's a bit better now. I wonder if everyone who starts work has like a meeting or something at 10 o'clock, so the internet just gets really jammed up all over the world. So I'm cutting out a second card, exactly the same as my first. I'm going to clear the decks again. I'm going to get rid of my store card. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some glue, and I'm going to glue these two pieces together. So I'd ask you guys to do the same as well. If you've used a cereal box card, you're just going to glue them together like this so that they are attached and it's blank on both sides. If you've not got a glue stick, I'll show you how to do tape to tape them together. So you're going to do glue stick all around here. And you're going to put that on there. And then you can trim them down so that, can you see I've got a slight overlap of the porridge card? And just because I'm a bit of a neat fiend, I'm going to trim down my sides so that they are exactly equal all the way around. And I've got no overlaps. Now, obviously, you could actually do your ID card sort of like any size you like at all. Or shape. It doesn't have to be an actual credit card shape. It could be like the shape of a triangle or something really cool. I'm just going like mainstream with mine, just because, you know, I like a cliche. So I got my card like this. Now it's trimmed all the way around. Oh, super. It's working well for you. That's really good for the Harrisons. And now if you didn't have glue, what you could just do instead is you could have lined yours up, and you could just put tape over the sides like this. And then you're going to trim the tape when it goes over the overlap. Now, you don't want to use loads and loads because you are going to be decorating onto this card. So you don't want to be trying to battle over the tape, but just a little bit around two sides to keep it together. I'm going to take the tape off because I've used glue, so I actually don't need that. But if you don't have glue and you want to just affix two pieces of card together back to back to hide the cereal box design, then that's what I would suggest. So I'm going to take mine off like that. So that's awesome. So that's my actual card. So number 2. Hopefully you guys are getting on well with getting your cards cut down. Fabulous. So number 2 is going to be to choose for most of my workshops that I do. What I did to get my name for this one, Superpower Chic, is I actually just got some magazines and cut them out of magazines. And so Superpower came out of a Match of the Day magazine that I had lying around. And then Chic came out of Vogue magazine. So you just cut in two words out and putting them together. So you could do that right now with a newspaper or a magazine that you might be able to run quickly around the house to find. Or you could just think of a really cool nickname that you would like to have, or you just keep your real name. So you could just be Leila or Felix, or whatever your real name is, could just be your real name. So at the top of your card now, what I would suggest doing is getting a pen and writing name. I'll show that here. So I'm going to test my little pen here. So you're just going to write name, name at the top like this, and then you could grab a ruler and you could do a line. However, you might not even need a ruler. You could actually also just use that store card or book that you drew around earlier, anything with a straight edge. So I've written name and I'm going to create a straight edge along here. Okay. There we go. I've got my card. And then you're going to either write for some words. So I'm going to grab a magazine right now and bring it back here and see what words I can find there. And I have got a Vogue magazine, fashion. You may have some CBeebies magazines or something like that. If Blue Peter still do magazines, but maybe they do, who knows. So I quite like, fantasy. Ooh. Ooh. Swift, Taylor Swift's here on the front cover of this magazine. And I think Swift is quite a cool name. Kind of means moving quickly, doesn't it? And I feel like that's what I do a lot, which I'm not sure if that's good or not, but anyway. So I've cut out the word Swift. That's going to be one of part of my name. And I think I'm going to go for, I can see here, Premier Swift, Swift Premier, or Fantasy Swift, or Swift Haha. That looks quite good. Swift Haha. I'm going to go for Premier Swift, I think. Premier. Because I'm all about trying new things, premiering it out. Let's see how it goes. Suck and see approach. Let's, just gotta give it a go. So I'm going to get my magazines out the way. So now I've got my card, and I'm going to use my glue stick to stick my new name on my new line. So my new name for today, for my ID card for today, is Premier Swift. And if you were to make one of these ID cards regularly, it would be quite cool, because each day, depending on your mood, you would pick a new name if you're just going to be cutting out of a magazine. Or Swift Premier. That would be better, wouldn't it? Swift Premier is a better way around. Fantastic. Swift Premier. Hopefully you guys are following this okay. So I've got my name now on my ID card like this. Name, Swift Premier. And if you didn't have a glue stick, all you would need to do then is line up your words that you've cut out there, and you would just take a piece of tape and you would just stick that over the top, so your name would be stuck on with tape. So if you don't have a glue stick, that's how you'd get around it, with a bit of tape. And so now we've got our card, we have got our name, and now we need to, this is actually my favourite bit, I think, make a profile picture for your card, because obviously this is your ID, so you're going to need a little profile picture. Now, there are a few ways that you could do that. The first way is, and if you do have a ruler, this would work really well. Otherwise, you could just use a straight edge. You're going to draw a little box where your ID, where your profile picture would sit. So if you look at this one that I do in workshops, at the top right here is where I put mine. But on this card here, I'm going to go the bottom right here. So there's a few ways in which you could do that. You could draw your box ready to put your ID picture in. So I put my ruler down here. Oh, yeah. And now I'm going to draw with the pen here and join up the top to create a box. So okay. Got my box. Looking very professional, this ID card now. So I've drawn a box ready to put my picture in. However, what you could do if you have other things lying around at this time is you could use any scraps of white paper, or say if you have an old envelope, you could use an old envelope that might be in your recycling, which has got white paper on it. Or you could use a white sticker if you've got one of these. And what you would do with that, if you wanted to go one stage further so that your profile picture really pops out, is you could cut out of an old envelope a square, and you could stick that on for where your ID picture is going to go. So I'm going to need to trim mine down a little bit. And I'm just cutting my square freehand. I'm not even worrying too much about it, because I quite like that approach, the freehand approach. And I'm going to glue that on there in just a second. So if you have a white envelope around, you could just use that and glue that on. That's what I'm going to do with this one. Again, you could maybe cut down bits of sticky tape to attach that if you don't have a glue stick. So don't worry if you don't have a glue stick. There's different things you could do. And just like a little note, I actually absolutely love the patterns on the insides of envelopes. I don't know if anyone else has ever noticed them. They're always a bit different. My friend Ellen once made like a collage out of just the insides of envelopes, which I thought was amazing. But yeah, but we're going to put the glue on the pattern side and stick the white side facing up. And all of these are just suggestions. So if you're like inventing this on the fly and you're making up your own things as you go, then that's totally cool as well. So now what you're going to do is you're going to have fun at drawing a little picture of yourself. What you would look like if you dressed up for the day as your new name. So if I dressed up for the day as Swift Premier, then I might be going to a film premiere, so I might have some like sunglasses on or something, and I might have some wings or something, like a little wing brooch or headband or something, just to make me look like I'm always like swift to be in places. So you're just going to draw a little picture now on your card of what you would look like if you dressed up for the day as the new name you've given yourself. Or if you just kept your real name, then just draw a little picture of yourself and have fun with it. This doesn't need to be accurate. This could be old-fashioned style, so it could be more flattering than realistic. That's definitely the approach I like to take. So I'm going to copy my picture that I did last time, actually, which does look just a little bit like me. You could use coloured pens for this bit. You could use any materials you've got. I'm just going to use this one black pen for mine. I'm going to try and do my hair. So I'm going to make mine look a bit like me, but I'm going to just give it some features that make me look a little bit Swift, like Swift Premier. Hopefully you guys are all still following me okay and the connection's working. Put a little thing here. I don't know what I'm going to do about my hair, now, because obviously, like half my hair is bleach blonde and the other half is natural, which is like a mousy brown. And obviously I can't go to a hairdresser, so I have no idea what I'm going to do about my hair in the long term, which is just something that I only thought about yesterday. I'm going to have to try and get some bleach and try and do it myself, which absolutely terrifies me. But we just see how it goes, don't we? So I've drawn my little picture of what I look like sort of now, like vaguely. That's my profile picture. I'm not the best at drawing. I'm not that kind of artist. And I'm going to add on to it now some little details. So let's see. So I'm going to add a little crown on. Just because I think, if I was going to a premiere, I might try and wear a tiara or something really extravagant. And I'm going to maybe add some sunglasses on just because, if I was going to a film premiere, I totally want to do that. I hope you're getting on okay with your little pictures over there. Oh, yeah, and then I'm going to have to dark those out. Look a little bit like a weird superhero in mine. And I'm going to maybe add on some sort of like winged brooch. Oh yeah, headpiece that's kind of got wings on it, just like this. So that's my like picture of what I look like now. And let's see. Just going to check to see that you can all hear me okay and that you can still you're following it okay. Let's see. Might be some. Let's see. Oh, fantastic. We've got a smiley face. So I think you're all still there. That's awesome. That's awesome. Brilliant. So So you've done your picture, and then the next thing that you're going to be doing after you've done your profile picture on your ID card is... so for this bit, you need to think of 3 things. Oh, thanks, Felix. That's awesome. I just wanted to just double check. That's great. I'm glad you're still here. So once you've got your ID badge cut out of your card, you've got your name at the top, and you have got a profile picture with a little picture of what you would look like if you dressed up for the day as that person. Then what you're going to do is you're going to turn your card over, and on the blank side, what you're going to do is you're going to doodle, or you are going to write 3 things that you are good or great at. So for me, I think I am probably quite good at inventing silly games. So I'm going to put that, silly games. And I think maybe I'm quite good at fun ideas. So whatever it is that you're really good at, perhaps you're really good at running. I'm definitely not good at running, so it's not going to go on mine. Perhaps you're really good at blowing bubbles. Perhaps you're really good at thinking of cool ideas. Whatever it is that you are really good at, I'm going to put fun ideas with a little light bulb. I'm going to write fun, and then I've just drawn a light bulb to represent ideas. I'm going to do my third one as well. Sometimes if you're with other people, you've got brothers or sisters, then it's good just to tell each other what you're good at, because sometimes you get stuck when you're thinking about yourself. And at the same time, like, good to remind your parents that they're good at stuff too, because, you know, it's hard work being a parent, I imagine. Oh, and I think maybe I'll just put making things. That's another one that I think I'm good at. Maybe I'm going to draw a pencil for that one. Yeah. So I've now got my card with my 3 things on the reverse, my ID card, and on the front I have got my name and my ID picture, and on the back I have put 3 things I am good or great at, and I've kind of like doodled them, and I've just done mine with a big chunky pen. You could do yours however you like, and after this you could come back and you could finish colouring in these bits and adding more details on later. But for now we are going to move on to the next thing. Which is approving yourself before seeking approval from others. Now, I really like to give myself a little approved stamp, and I normally have an approved stamp in workshops that I let people use, and I let them approve themselves before I give them my special seal approval. But obviously I'm aware that you may not have ink and stamps in your house. If you do, go and get them now. That's perfect. Perhaps you could just put your initials in inks and stamps if you've got letter stamps. Perhaps you could just write a word. You could type the word approved with letter stamps, or perhaps you've got like a symbol stamp that you could just adopt as your new approved stamp, and you could stamp that on. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to draw a line at the bottom using my straight edge. So grabbing back that store card from earlier, I'm going to do a straight line at the bottom. And now I'm going to write the word signed, which is spelt like this. I'll write it on the back of here. Let me see, that's how you spell signed. And I'm going to write signed above my line with those 2 dots there. so that then on the line, I'm going to sign my name. But I'm going to sign my name as Swift Premier because that's the name I've put on my card. So I'm going to invent a signature for her. So signed, S-I-G-N-E-D. I am not the best at spelling. So signed, there we go. And then I'm going to make up a signature now using my pen on this line for Swift Premier. Should probably have some sort of like S-Prem. I'm going to do like a star on her signature as well, and maybe like a little heart at the bottom, like a wiggle line. So I've got my signature now for Swift Premier. Absolutely love her official card as it's coming to life here. And now as well, I'm going to take a coloured stamp, and I think I'm going to use red actually, because I think it's going to go quite nicely on my card. And I'm actually going to write the word approved over here as if it is like an ink stamp. So as if I'm giving myself approval. So approved is spelt like this. I'll write it underneath here. A-P-P-R-O-V-E-D. Approved. Just over there. So now I'm going to use a coloured pen because it would look quite nice going over this black here. And I'm kind of just going to write it like diagonally as if it's just been stamped carelessly on there by some like office somewhere. So I'm going to write approved. Fantastic. So I've got that here. And then I'm going to actually just draw it in a box, but a little bit taking my time. So I'll show you on this one what I mean. So I'm going to draw a box around my approved stamp so it looks like it has been stamped by a proper stamp that has edges. But I'm going to just kind of not quite joined up the lines, you see. So it looks a little bit dotty, like the ink hasn't quite transferred all the way. So give myself the approved like this, looking very cool. And now it's just the finishing touch really for your ID card, which I'm quite looking forward to. So the finishing touch for your ID cards is this. It's an optional make your own wax seal. So on these ID cards here that I made at the Royal Shakespeare Company with everyone who was visiting, I have my very own wax seal stamp. And I use hot wax like what you use for candles, and I drip it using a glue gun out of a glue gun onto the page, and underneath it sticks these ribbons to it. It's a really old-fashioned way of sealing cards and sealing envelopes and all of those things. So because we haven't, I know you won't have one of those just to hand, or if you have, amazing, do this later, go for it. But because I don't know, you probably won't have one of those to hand, I thought we'd just improvise our own kind of cool wax seal. And so this is how we're going to do it. So I'm going to use a scrap of the card from my cereal box card that I had earlier that formed the base of my card here. And I'm going to draw around something small and roundish. So what I can find that would fit, you see, on your card somewhere, what I can find is this lovely glue stick topper. So I'm going to put that down here. And I'm going to draw around that using my pen. And I'm going to cut it out. Which I'm going to draw around it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw around it like that. And before I cut it out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get a felt tip pen now, different colour to red, because I think it'd be nice to have some different colour. I obviously love pink and yellow, so I'm going to use pink and yellow as my pens. And I am just going to put my initial, which is M, obviously, on the wax seal there. If you wanted it to look like the wax seal came from me, you could put M, or perhaps you could make the wax seal come from you. So if your name is Felix or Eon, then you could put an I or an F on there as well. Okay, so I'm going to put an M on the middle of my circle. Make it look quite regal, like it's a proper kind of stamp. And then I'm just going to add some different colour around. And what I'm just doing with mine is I'm just doing like a wiggly line around here to make it look quite stampy. I'm just trying to impersonate this like blodge here with low-tech materials. So I put some more yellow in here too. Just had a little bit of fun really colouring mine in. And now when I cut mine out, I'm going to cut it out inside of this circle that I drew around originally. So I'm going to kind of cut mine wiggly out as opposed to correctly out. And this is where it's quite fun because cutting out circles can be really tricky. But we don't actually want this seal to look perfectly rounded because we want it to look like it is wax that's been dripped on. And as you can see on this one here, this is not perfectly rounded, it's very splodgy. So actually, if you're not very good at cutting out circles, in a way, that's even better for this activity because yours is going to look more genuine. So, knocking over the set. Right, so I'm going to cut this out in a kind of wiggly way now. So I've got my wax bit here, ready to go. And now what I'm going to do is I have got some pink and some yellow ribbon. You may or may not have ribbon, and that's totally cool if you don't. But if you do, I'm going to show you how to attach it. Perhaps instead you might have some coloured string or some, maybe you could have some coloured paper that you could actually cut little strips out of, or just some normal paper that you could colour on and cut strips out of. So quickly, I'll show you how to do that, actually, what I think about it. So if you've got some envelope paper spare, or some paper of any sort, what you could do very quickly to improvise your ribbon is you could colour like this. It's actually till receipt that I'm using, so I think it's going to make the thing go a bit weird, but we'll just see how it goes. So I'm colouring on here with a felt tip pen. And then you could just cut your strips like this. So I've got a strip like that. This is sort of like your improvised ribbon then. So there, I've got a lovely bit of improv ribbon that's just out of paper that I've felt it penned on, and then I've cut the strips out of it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my improvised ribbon that I've just made. And I am going to stick that over there using a little bit of sellotape or using a stapler. So I've got a stapler to hand, so I'm going to use that, but I'll show you how to do it if you've not got one. So I'm just going to staple that on like that. Both of those are firmly in place. Otherwise, you could just line them up and you could just pop a little bit of tape over them to hold them in place so that they're on like that. And as you can see, mine's getting quite layered now. So I've got my signature underneath here, which if I lift up my ribbons, I can still see my signature. But I've put my ribbons on top of this lovely approved stamp. So I've got this quite layered, and that's what it kind of looks like on ID cards. So I kind of like that layered, textured look. So don't worry if you feel like you're running out of space. And now you've got your little lovely seal. You're going to stick that over the, and you're just going to put some glue on here, and you'll stick that straight over. If you don't have glue and you've just got tape, you're going to take a little bit of tape, and you're going to roll it back around itself so it creates like a little sticky palette. Oh, hi guys, we've got Seth and Casper here from Australia, just tuned in for the end. Lovely guys, nice to see you. And then that would stick over here, and then this will go on top. So, but I've got glue stick on mine, so I don't need to do that. So I'm going to stick that over the top like this. And now I think I've pretty much finished my amazing ID card. So the kind of purpose of this really is if you watch episode 7 on my Make With Meg channel, I'll talk you through how this can be a little bit of a confidence booster, because sometimes it's just really easy to compare yourself to like other people, other things that are happening, when actually everyone's got their unique selling point, their USP, everyone's individual. And so this is your ID card that doesn't say anything about where you live. It doesn't say anything about your date of birth, when you were born. Some of you have got your real names on, some of you have just got your new super names on. The ID card is about keeping safe. And when you're feeling a little bit low, or you feel like you're accidentally comparing yourself to other people, then you can grab this out and you can be reminded that I am Swift Premier, and I don't need to compare myself to other people because I've got my own USP, and that is I'm good at making up silly games, I'm good at making things, and I'm good at thinking of fun ideas. And this is my USP. And now you guys have all got your own USP. And that's all I wanted to show you, really. So I guess I'm going to pack away my studio now. I'm going to tidy away. I'm really happy with my result, with my DIY found around the house result. I hope you guys are happy with yours too. I would love to see some pictures of what you've made. So hopefully you are watching with parents or guardians. And if you could please pop your pictures, or ask your parents or guardians to pop your pictures onto Twitter or Instagram and use the hashtag Make With Meg, so I could have a little look at your ID cards that you've made. I'd absolutely love that. I'd love to see what you've done. I hope you keep these in a safe place. Maybe you've got a treasure desk, or you've got a lovely wallet that you could keep them into. And I think that's it for today. Next Make With Megs are going to be on Mondays. We'll be releasing the standard episodes that have already been pre-recorded. And I'm going to try and do another one of these on Thursday, next Thursday morning, live at 10 a.m, using things you found around the house. And if you can't get enough of Make With Meg, then I've got a little postal service, which is on Patreon. And for £8 a month, you get a little package through the post with a creative prop and a prompt. But I think that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much. Maybe see you guys next Thursday at 10 a.m. Have a lovely, lovely day. I'm sorry about the technical hitch. See you guys soon. Bye-bye. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Felix. Thanks, Ione. Thanks, Hannah Clark. Thanks to Australia, to Liverpool, to America. Thanks to Derbyshire. It's been great to have you guys all tune in. Bye-bye. See you guys soon. Bye, Seth. Bye, Casper. Bye, Milo. Bye, Rory. Aww. See you later, guys. Have a lovely day.